All right, so today we're diving into something pretty interesting.
Okay.
The value of a liberal arts education,
Interesting.
in today's world.
Yeah.
And we've got all sorts of sources here, articles, expert opinions, even got a university's perspective. But the thing that really caught my eye was
What's that?
this idea that studying these, supposedly soft subjects
Right.
might actually give you an advantage
Yep.
in this crazy, constantly shifting job market.
Yeah, it is interesting how we often hear
Right.
about STEM fields being like the key to success, but I think the value of a well-rounded education,
Yeah.
and particularly in the liberal arts, is often overlooked or underestimated.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing that really jumps out
Yeah.
from all these sources is this emphasis on critical thinking. Like it's some kind of secret weapon
Okay.
for navigating all the complexities of
everything.
of everything these days.
For sure.
But before we get too far ahead,
Yeah.
let's break down what critical thinking even means.
Right.
Because it sounds kind of intimidating,
It does sound complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you need a philosophy degree to even understand it.
But at its core, it's really about engaging with information in a deliberate and thoughtful way.
Okay.
John Ager, in his Forbes article, I thought he put it really well.
Yeah. What did he say?
He said, it's knowing when to ask questions and knowing what questions to ask.
Okay.
So it's not just about absorbing information passively, but really actively seeking to understand it, to challenge it, and to connect it to the bigger picture.
So it's not about throwing intuition out the window.
No, no, no.
It's more about knowing when to slow down and analyze.
Yeah, exactly. Think of Daniel Kahneman's book.
Oh, yeah. Thinking fast and slow.
Exactly. We need both systems, right? We need intuition for those quick decisions and then that slower, more analytical thinking for more complex situations.
Yeah.
So critical thinking is about recognizing when we need to shift gears
Okay.
and engage that deeper level of analysis.
That makes sense. So how do the liberal arts actually train your brain
Right.
to think this way?
Yeah,
Because that seems to be the common thread
it does.
in all these different sources.
It's fascinating how they do that.
Yeah.
A lot of the articles highlight that the liberal arts encourage you to engage with information from all sorts of different angles.
Okay.
So you're not just memorizing facts, you're dissecting arguments,
Okay.
Evaluating evidence, considering different perspectives.
But why?
You're essentially learning how to become an information detective.
So instead of just accepting what you read or what you hear,
Right.
you're constantly questioning, probing,
Exactly.
looking for those hidden biases.
Exactly.
Like if you're studying history, you're not just memorizing names and dates.
Yeah.
You're analyzing sources,
Right.
considering different interpretations,
Absolutely.
and really recognizing the inherent biases of those historical narratives.
Exactly. Or imagine analyzing a piece of literature.
Okay.
You're not just following the plot. You're delving into the characters, the themes, the symbolism,
Right, all the layers.
all those layers that give it depth and meaning.
Yeah.
And then you've got philosophy where you're grappling with ethical dilemmas
Right.
and challenging your own beliefs. It's constant critical thinking.
Okay, I see how that question everything mindset could really sharpen your skills, but
Yeah.
how does that translate to the real world?
Right.
I mean, does analyzing a poem really help you in, say, a business meeting?
This is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Ager, in his Forbes interview, he talks about this CEO who actually encouraged critical thinking in his company.
Wait, a CEO who wants his employees to question things?
It might seem unusual,
It's pretty rare.
but he understood that fostering a culture of critical thinking was absolutely essential for innovation and growth.
Okay.
He actually had his C-suite team test out new initiatives first, and eventually empowered even hourly employees to share their ideas and perspectives. It created this incredibly dynamic environment where everyone felt comfortable questioning assumptions
That's amazing.
and proposing new solutions.
Yeah, that's a powerful example of how this kind of thinking can impact
Right.
not just individual performance,
Yeah.
but the success of an entire organization.
Yeah, I think it's not just about having a fancy degree.
Right.
It's about having a mind that's trained to think differently, to approach challenges.
From those unexpected angles.
Exactly.
And it goes beyond just the workplace.
Absolutely.
Imagine navigating personal relationships,
Right.
ethical dilemmas, or even just filtering the constant stream of information
Over
that we're bombarded with every day.
every day.
These are all situations where critical thinking can be incredibly valuable.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond just getting ahead.
Right.
It's about becoming a more thoughtful and engaged human being.
That's a great point. We often associate critical thinking with professional success. But it's equally important for navigating our personal lives.
Yes.
It helps us make more informed decisions,
For sure.
communicate more effectively,
Absolutely.
and even understand different perspectives.
Yeah.
So it's not just about getting ahead, it's about becoming a more thoughtful
Yeah.
and engaged human being.
Exactly. And pasted text, along with the MVNU article, both highlight how this kind of thinking strengthens personal communication
Okay.
and helps navigate those tricky ethical situations
Right.
life throws our way.
Yeah, because let's face it, life rarely gives us clear-cut answers
No, it doesn't.
or simple multiple-choice questions.
Right.
So we've established that critical thinking is important.
Yes.
But here's the million-dollar question.
Okay.
Does a liberal arts education actually make you more adaptable in today's crazy job market?
Right.
Honestly, that seems a bit counterintuitive at first.
That's what makes it so intriguing. The AAEA article, along with a few others, present a compelling argument. They emphasize the broad skill set.
It comes with a liberal arts education.
So you're not just specializing in one narrow field.
Right.
Yeah.
You're developing a versatile toolkit that can be applied in a variety of contexts.
So it's like having a mental Swiss Army knife.
Exactly.
I got a tool for every situation.
Exactly.
I like that.
And the MVNU piece highlights how employers are actively seeking these adaptable thinkers.
Okay.
Because the modern workplace is constantly evolving. So it's not just about mastering a specific set of skills.
Yeah.
It's about being able to learn and adapt.
As new challenges arise.
Exactly.
And remember Richard Sincere from that YouTube video?
Oh, yeah.
A history major? Finding incredible success in the business world.
Unbelievable.
I mean, his story really drives home the point that a liberal arts background can provide long-term value.
It can.
Even if it doesn't seem immediately applicable.
Yeah, his journey is a testament to the power of adaptability.
Right.
That a liberal arts education can foster.
You know, he was able to leverage his analytical and communication skills, honed through his studies, to excel in a field that might have initially seemed unrelated.
Totally.
Yeah, it speaks volumes about the transferable nature of these skills.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the professional benefits.
We have.
But let's not forget the bigger picture.
Yes.
A liberal arts education isn't just about getting a job.
Right.
It's about becoming a well-rounded individual.
Right? Absolutely. The EAAA and MVNU articles both touch on this.
Okay.
They talk about how a liberal arts education cultivates cultural awareness and empathy.
Which are pretty essential in our increasingly interconnected world.
Right. It's not just about understanding different cultures. It's about understanding different perspectives, different ways of thinking, which are crucial for communication, collaboration, and problem solving.
Yeah, in any context.
In any context.
And let's not forget the emphasis on civic responsibility.
Of course.
Ethical reasoning and being an informed and engaged citizen.
Absolutely.
Qualities that a liberal arts education really fosters.
Right. It's about fostering a sense of responsibility, not just for yourself, but for your community.
Yeah.
And the world around you.
For sure.
It's about being able to think critically about the issues that affect us all.
Right.
And engage in meaningful dialogue and action.
So it's about more than just getting a job.
It is.
It's about becoming a thoughtful, engaged, and well-rounded individual who can contribute to society in meaningful ways.
Exactly.
So we've been talking about how valuable critical thinking is.
Yes.
And how a liberal arts education can really hone that skill.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, I still hear those voices out there saying it's all just fluffy stuff.
Oh, fluffy stuff.
You know, poetry readings, philosophical debates, not the hard skills you need for a real job.
Right.
How do we address that perception?
That's a common misconception.
Okay.
That often stems from a misunderstanding of what a liberal arts education truly entails.
What do you mean?
It's not about simply acquiring knowledge in specific fields.
Okay.
It's about developing a framework for thinking, for analyzing, for understanding the world around us. It's about learning how to learn, which is becoming increasingly valuable in a world where technology is constantly changing.
Right.
Industries are evolving.
For sure.
And job descriptions are being rewritten almost overnight.
So instead of training for a specific job that might become obsolete in a few years, you're training your mind to be adaptable.
Absolutely.
to be able to pick up new skills and knowledge as needed.
Exactly. You're developing a foundation
Yeah.
that allows you to be a lifelong learner, constantly evolving,
Right.
and adapting to the ever-changing demands of the world around us.
And what's fascinating is that while technical skills are undeniably important,
They are.
many employers are placing even more emphasis on those broader skills,
They are.
like critical thinking,
Yes.
communication,
Communication.
and the ability to solve complex problems.
That's
They're looking for people who can think outside the box
right.
and adapt to new challenges, which are areas where a liberal arts education truly shines.
Exactly.
It sounds like we're moving away from this either mentality,
Yeah.
liberal arts, or STEM,
Right.
and recognizing that we need both.
We do.
A computer can crunch numbers
Right.
and analyze data,
Yes.
but it can't critically come up with innovative solutions or lead a team of diverse individuals. We need those human elements
We do.
to navigate the complexities of our world.
Absolutely. The most successful individuals and organizations will be those who can bridge the gap between the two,
Right.
combining technical expertise with the critical thinking, creativity, and adaptability
Right.
that a liberal arts education fosters.
Yeah, it's about recognizing the value of both
It is.
and understanding how they complement each other.
Exactly.
This whole conversation is really making me rethink the whole concept of practical skills. Maybe a liberal arts education with its focus on critical thinking and adaptability
Yeah,
is more practical than we give it credit for.
maybe so.
But what about the argument that it's too theoretical,
Okay.
not grounded enough in real-world applications?
That's another misconception that often arises.
Okay.
It's not just about acquiring job skills.
Okay.
It's about developing those transferable skills, critical thinking, problem solving, effective communication
Yeah.
that are valuable in any field. And what's interesting is that many employers are realizing the importance of these skills
Okay.
and are actively seeking out candidates who possess them.
So it's like we're shifting away from a purely transactional view of education.
Right?
I get this degree, I get this job,
Right.
and recognizing that it's about developing a set of tools
Yes.
and a mindset that allow you to navigate the complexities of the real world,
Yes.
regardless of the specific challenges you might face.
Exactly.
But I have to admit, I'm still a little bit skeptical about the whole cultural awareness and empathy thing.
Right.
I mean, how does studying history or literature actually make you more empathetic?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's not about memorizing dates and names
Right.
or analyzing plot structures.
Okay.
It's about immersing yourself in different perspectives, different cultures,
Yeah.
different ways of thinking and experiencing the world.
Okay.
By engaging with diverse viewpoints
Yeah.
and challenging your own assumptions, you develop a greater understanding of the human experience and all its complexities.
So by reading a novel set in a different time period
Right.
or a different culture, you're essentially stepping outside of your own limited perspective
You are.
and experiencing the world through someone else's eyes.
Exactly.
And that understanding, that ability to connect with people on a human level
Yeah.
is crucial in any field, any interaction, any relationship.
Absolutely.
It allows us to communicate more effectively,
It does.
build stronger relationships,
Right.
navigate conflicts with greater sensitivity,
Yeah, for sure.
and create more inclusive and equitable environments.
Yeah.
It's not just about being a well-rounded individual.
Right.
It's about being a better human being.
Precisely. And that's what's so powerful about a liberal arts education.
Okay.
It's not just about acquiring knowledge and skills. It's
Oh.
about cultivating a sense of humanity, of
Yeah.
empathy, of connection.
This is all starting to click for me.
Good.
But I have one last question.
Okay.
What about the argument that a liberal arts education is too theoretical,
Right.
not practical enough for the real world?
That's another common misconception.
I
That
feel it.
stems from a limited understanding of what practical actually means.
Okay.
It's not just about acquiring specific job skills.
Right.
It's about developing those core abilities, that allow you to thrive in a complex
Right.
and ever-changing world.
Right.
Critical
that.
thinking, problem solving, adaptability, effective communication.
Yeah.
Those are all incredibly practical skills that are valuable
Yeah.
in any field.
Right. Not just
Not just specific professions.
So it's less about learning a fixed set of facts
Right.
and more about developing a flexible mindset
Yes.
that can adapt to new situations and challenges.
Exactly. And remember, the world is changing at an unprecedented pace.
It really is.
Technology's constantly evolving industries are being disrupted.
Yeah.
Job markets are becoming increasingly dynamic.
Right.
A liberal arts education equips you with the mental agility to navigate these shifts and to constantly learn and adapt throughout your life.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
It's like the difference between learning how to fish versus being given a fish.
Exactly.
You're not just acquiring a specific skill.
Right.
You're developing a framework for acquiring any skill.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's about cultivating that intellectual curiosity and that love of learning that will serve you well no matter what path you choose.
Right.
But I understand there's still this perception that technical skills are more in demand.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about coding, data science, artificial intelligence.
Right.
Fields that seem to require very specific technical expertise.
Yeah. It does feel like those fields are dominating the conversation about the future of work.
They are.
So how does a liberal arts education fit into that landscape?
It's true that technical skills are incredibly important, and those fields you mentioned are experiencing tremendous growth.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Even in those highly technical fields, success isn't solely determined by technical prowess.
Okay.
Think about it. What good is a brilliant algorithm if you can't effectively communicate its value to stakeholders?
Right.
Collaborate with a diverse team to implement it or consider its ethical implications.
So you're saying that even in those cutting-edge fields,
Yes.
those soft skills that we've been talking about,
Yes.
communication, collaboration, critical thinking are still essential.
Absolutely. What we're seeing is that the most sought-after professionals in any field are those who possess a combination of technical expertise and those broader skills honed through a liberal arts education. It's about being able to bridge the gap between the technical and the human, between data and meaning.
So it's not a question of choosing between liberal arts or STEM.
It's not either.
It's about recognizing the value of both.
Yeah.
And understanding how they can work together synergistically.
Exactly. And the most successful individuals and organizations will be those who can blend those two worlds effectively. Leveraging the power of technology while also embracing the uniquely human skills that drive innovation, communication, and ethical decision-making. It's about seeing the bigger picture and understanding how different fields of knowledge can intersect and inform one another.
This is all starting to make a lot of sense.
Good.
It's like we're moving beyond those old stereotypes about left brain versus right brain thinking.
Yeah.
And recognizing that we need both.
We need both.
To thrive in this complex world we're living in.
Precisely. We need both the analytical rigor of logic and the creative spark of imagination. Both the precision of data and the empathy of human understanding. And that's what a liberal arts education can cultivate. The ability to think across disciplines, to connect seemingly disparate ideas, to see the world through multiple lenses.
It's like you're training your mind to become a kaleidoscope.
It is a kaleidoscope.
Constantly shifting perspectives and creating new patterns of understanding.
Exactly.
But I have to admit, when we talk about things like empathy and cultural awareness, it can sometimes feel a bit abstract.
It can.
How do we connect those concepts to tangible benefits, both professionally and personally?
That's a great question. And it gets to the heart of why these skills are so valuable in today's interconnected world. Think about it. In the workplace, we're increasingly collaborating with people from diverse backgrounds, cultures, and perspectives.
For sure.
Being able to understand and appreciate those differences, to communicate effectively across those boundaries, is essential for building strong teams and achieving shared goals.
It's like that saying.
What's that?
If you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid.
Oh, I like that.
We need to value different strengths and perspectives.
Exactly. And the same principles apply to our personal lives.
Okay.
The more we can understand and empathize with others, even those who hold different beliefs or come from different backgrounds, the richer and more meaningful our interactions will be. It's about fostering a sense of connection and understanding in a world that can often feel divided and polarized.
It's like we're expanding our capacity for compassion.
We are.
And building bridges of understanding across those perceived divides.
And those connections, those bridges, are what ultimately make us better human beings and create a more just and equitable society. It's about recognizing our shared humanity even in the midst of our differences.
So A liberal arts education isn't just about individual success.
No.
It's about contributing to a greater good.
Yeah.
About becoming more engaged and responsible citizens of the world.
Absolutely.
But I still hear that voice in the back of my head saying,
Hey, what's that voice?
but what about getting a job?
Right, the job.
How do you translate all this theoretical knowledge into practical skills that employers are actually looking for?
That's where the rubber meets the road. And I think it's important to remember that employers aren't just looking for robots who can perform specific tasks.
Right.
They're looking for people who can think critically, solve problems, creatively adapt to new situations, and communicate effectively. All skills that are honed through a liberal arts education.
It's like you're not just filling a position.
Right.
You're bringing a whole toolkit of skills.
Yes, you are a toolkit.
And a flexible mindset to the table.
Yeah, you bring it all.
But let's be real.
Okay.
There are definitely students who graduate with liberal arts degrees and struggle to find well-paying jobs.
There are.
How do we address that concern?
That's a valid point, and it's important to acknowledge that the path from a liberal arts degree to a fulfilling career isn't always straightforward.
Right.
However, I think part of the challenge lies in how we define success and relevance in the context of education.
It's like we've gotten so caught up in this narrow definition of success that we've lost sight of the broader value of education.
Exactly, and I think that's where the liberal arts can play a crucial role in helping us redefine those metrics. It's about recognizing that the value of an education extends far beyond simply securing a job. It's about developing our minds, expanding our perspectives, and cultivating our capacity for critical thinking, creativity, and compassion.
So it's about seeing education as an investment in our own human potential.
Yes.
Not just as a means to an end.
Exactly.
But how do we convince skeptics who believe that technical skills are all that matter?
Right.
How do we bridge that gap between the perceived value of liberal arts and the demands of the modern workforce?
Yeah. I think part of it is shifting the narrative around what a liberal arts education truly entails.
What do you mean?
We need to move beyond those outdated stereotypes of ivory tower academics and highlight the real-world skills and benefits that come from studying these disciplines.
So it's about showcasing the practical applications of a liberal arts education.
Yes.
How those soft skills can actually translate into hard results in the workplace and beyond.
Exactly. And I think another key piece is emphasizing the importance of lifelong learning and adaptability. The job market is constantly evolving, so it's not just about acquiring a specific set of skills. It's about developing the ability to learn and adapt throughout your career. And that's where a liberal arts education truly shines.
It's about cultivating that intellectual curiosity and that willingness to embrace new challenges and opportunities.
It is.
Which are qualities that will serve you well no matter what field you choose.
Absolutely.
It's about being a lifelong learner, a constant seeker of knowledge and understanding.
Precisely. And I think the more we can highlight those aspects of a liberal arts education, the more we can demonstrate its relevance and value in a rapidly changing world. It's about recognizing that the skills honed through these disciplines are not just nice to have. They're essential for navigating the complexities of the 21st century and beyond.
I'm starting to see how a liberal arts education can be a powerful tool for navigating not just the job market, but also the larger challenges facing our world.
Yes.
Things like climate change, social injustice, political polarization.
It is a powerful tool.
It's about developing a broader perspective and a deeper understanding of the human condition.
Exactly. And I think that's where the true value of a liberal arts education lies. In its ability to help us become more informed, engaged, and compassionate citizens of the world. It's about cultivating a sense of empathy, a willingness to engage with diverse perspectives, and a commitment to using our knowledge and skills to make a positive impact.
So it's about seeing education not just as a path to personal success, but as a journey of self-discovery and a means of contributing to a greater good.
It is about contributing.
It's about becoming more well-rounded individuals, more thoughtful citizens, and more compassionate human beings.
Absolutely.
This whole conversation has really given me a lot to think about. I'm starting to see how a liberal arts education, with its emphasis on critical thinking, adaptability, and cultural awareness, could be the key to not just navigating the future, but also shaping it for the better.
I couldn't agree more. It's about empowering individuals to become lifelong learners, to embrace complexity, and to use their knowledge and skills to create a more just equitable and sustainable world.
It's like we've been so focused on that, immediate return on investment that we've lost sight of the long-term value.
Long game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of cultivating, a curious, adaptable, and engaged mind.
That's a great way to put it. It's about recognizing that education isn't just about acquiring a set of skills for a specific job. It's about developing the capacity to think critically, to solve problems creatively, to adapt to new challenges, and to contribute meaningfully to society.
And it sounds like those are the very qualities that are becoming more and more valuable.
They are.
In a world that's being reshaped by technology, globalization, and rapid social change.
Absolutely. The ability to learn and adapt, to think critically and creatively, to communicate effectively and collaborate with others.
Yeah.
These are the skills that will set individuals apart in the years to come, regardless of their specific field of expertise.
It's like we're moving from a world of specialists to a world of generalists.
Yeah.
Where the ability to connect the dots, to see the bigger picture, to think across disciplines becomes even more crucial.
Precisely. It's about cultivating that T-shaped skill set.
What's that?
Having depth of knowledge in a particular area, but also the breadth of understanding to connect that knowledge to other fields. And to apply it to real-world challenges.
So it's not just about being a master of one trade. It's about being a jack of all trades. And a master of connecting them all together.
Exactly. It's about fostering that intellectual agility. And that willingness to step outside of our comfort zones, to learn new things and embrace new perspectives.
It sounds like a liberal arts education. With its focus on exploring diverse fields.
Absolutely.
And developing critical thinking. Could be the ideal training ground.
It could be.
By this kind of adaptable interdisciplinary thinking.
I couldn't agree more. By exposing students to a wide range of disciplines, from history and literature to philosophy and the sciences, a liberal arts education cultivates a broader perspective and a more holistic understanding of the world.
So you're not just learning facts and figures. You're developing a framework.
You are building a framework.
For understanding how all these different areas of knowledge intersect and influence one another.
Exactly. And that ability to connect the dots, to synthesize information from different sources, to see patterns in relationships that others might miss. That's what sets critical thinkers apart.
So it's not just about knowing a lot of stuff. It's about knowing how to think about that stuff. How to analyze it, how to apply it to new situations, how to communicate it effectively to others.
Exactly. And those are the very skills that are in high demand across a wide range of industries and professions.
It's like we've uncovered this hidden treasure.
Yeah.
This idea that a liberal arts education, which is often perceived as being impractical or irrelevant in today's job market, could actually be the secret weapon.
The secret weapon? I love
it. Navigating the complexities of the 21st century.
And I think the more we can highlight those connections, the more we can dispel those misconceptions and showcase the true value and relevance of a liberal arts education.
It's about reframing the conversation.
It is.
Shifting the focus from, narrow career paths to broader life skills.
Absolutely.
And from short-term job prospects to long-term intellectual and personal growth.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that the skills honed through a liberal arts education, critical thinking, adaptability, communication, empathy, cultural awareness are not just valuable in the workplace, but also in our personal lives, our relationships, and our communities.
It's about becoming more well-rounded individuals, more engaged citizens, and more compassionate human beings.
Absolutely.
So after this deep dive into the power of a liberal arts education, I'm left wondering, what does this mean for you?
That's a great question. I think what's most exciting is seeing how these seemingly disparate ideas, critical thinking, adaptability, cultural awareness, and the liberal arts all converge to paint a compelling picture of what education can and should be.
It's not just about, filling our heads with facts,
No.
but about cultivating those essential human qualities that allow us to thrive in a complex and ever-changing world.
For sure.
It's about becoming lifelong learners, critical thinkers, and compassionate citizens who are equipped to make a real difference.
Exactly. And it's a journey that extends far beyond the classroom and into every aspect of our lives.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm left with one question for you.
Okay, sure.
Do you think a liberal arts education is as irrelevant as some people claim?
Okay.
Or could it actually be the key to unlocking a brighter future?
I think we've seen that a liberal arts education can be a powerful force for good in the world, fostering critical thinking, adaptability, cultural awareness, and a love of learning.
Okay.
And those are the very qualities we need to navigate the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century and beyond.
It's given me a lot to think about.
Yeah.
And I hope it's sparked some new ideas and perspectives for you as well.
Me too.
Maybe those fluffy subjects.
All right.
But they hold fluffy after all.
I mean,
Maybe they hold the key to unlocking our full potential as individuals and as a society.
I think that's a great place to leave it. The pursuit of knowledge, the development of critical thinking, and the fostering of empathy are not as academic exercises, but essential tools for building a better future.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Keep those minds sharp and keep those questions coming.